This is Barbara DeLong, and I painted and channeled the Cosmic Deck of Initiation, which has recently been re-released, along with a handbook that gives detailed instructions on how to use the deck, and most recently, the digital app for those of you who want to use it on your cell phones. Because this is not your ordinary tarot or oracle deck, I thought it important to give you a hint as to the kind of information and material you can get from the deck. While it can, of course, be used for prognostication, its original intent was for those who are on a personal spiritual journey and seeking insight and wisdom that has been carried within for eons of your spirit's journey. The deck enables individuals to become their own master teacher, learning from that which has personally been gathered over time and not following another's teaching or pathway. The Spirit's journey is unique unto each individual, so information will always be unique, and the interpretation and application as well will differ. The deck is very personal, and the more you use it, the greater it will serve you. I'm sharing the meaning of one of the cards to give you a hint as to the kind of information they will share with you. For further information, you can go to cosmicdeckofinitiation.com, and the link will follow the meaning of the card. Enjoy and learn. You have drawn the Wisdom card, and it indicates that wisdom awaits your experience and application. Wisdom carries for you release and growth. Wisdom grows from experience and is different for every individual and every situation. Wisdom is not knowing, it is understanding. Wisdom is guiding you and opening you to the greater mysteries of the universe. Live your wisdom, breathe life into it. Universal wisdom is the understanding that everything is put together perfectly, just as it is. It doesn't need human intervention to make it better. This kind of wisdom is far-reaching and often beyond the grasp of the human mind. We can admire it and derive great inner peace when we channel it, but our minds can never encompass the magnitude of universal wisdom. Yet we all have the capacity to channel universal wisdom. It takes contemplation and the willingness to sit still and explore the implications of an infinite universe. Infinite means never ending, never beginning, always here in the present moment, always has been, always will be, in all its changing shapes and form. It is huge beyond comprehension, but can be felt in our inner, deeper selves, in our spirits. If you're working with the pyramid spread and your card falls in the circle for body and health, it indicates that universal wisdom is an aspect and an energy that is ever present within all of us. It is a part of our essence and available to the higher consciousness when the portals are open, and the wisdom of the ancients can be touched and impart information that can give us greater insight than the physical aspects could possibly supply. When one speaks of the ancient, the mind automatically goes to Egypt or Phoenicia or Sumeria, or perhaps even some of those societies that predate the aforementioned. The ancients here spoken of are from a time, before floods or ice ages, before the time of two suns, and before there was time. These ancients are multidimensional and timeless, and hold the Akashic records of this and other dimensions. Their wisdoms float upon the ether and are available to those who can attune to the vibrations that carry and protect them. To know their totality would make the journeys of the spirits pointless, and the cycles of time would cease. The wisdom is made available to those who can listen and share without changing them. The consciousness of those in physical can draw only certain levels of the wisdom from the ether, and then apply it and live it to teach others by example. The body needs to be radiating in a frequency attuned to the etheric realms in order to touch and absorb the wisdom appropriate for this time and planet. Many will try to open those portals to the universal wisdoms, and though they flow through and around the ether that is a part of us, the channels to open to the portals must be clear and flow with love of an unconditional nature. The body provides the frequency, and that is determined by the purity of the consciousness. The spirit is already one with the ether, but to draw in the wisdom, the physical must be in tune with the energy fields that flow to and through the portals. Everyone has fleeting moments of the purity of which we speak. Granted, those moments are brief, but a great deal of wisdom can be downloaded in a nanosecond. The wisdoms drawn in are ones appropriate for this time and this space, and if recognized and applied, can easily expand the consciousness of the entire planet. Those wisdoms have been filtered down into this reality and will continue to be as long as there is a need. Recognizing the downloads and giving them a channel into this reality is the responsibility of the individuals. Making sure your physical body is clear and rested and open to information from realms that only spirit can visit is the individual duty and/or choice of the individual. It means changes should be made and habits altered. If your card falls in the circle for future, it indicates that by recognizing universal energies and the fact that they apply not only to the human species but to all living matter, broadens the perspective of the vastness of the law and who and what they apply to. Until and unless humanity can flow as one family, they will be restricted to this solar system. Every speck of living matter holds within it a spark of the source of all creation. All people are connected by those sparks within, those spirits that once were a part of the source of all creation, children of the stars, and connected to one another, linked as a family, and destined to someday be together as a family, and then join with others beyond our limits. Humanity's frame of reference is limited to memory and hints left by those who have gone before. But the history is much, much more expansive and goes beyond writings and cave glyphs. The history goes beyond this planet and will put memories of places such as Atlantis on the level of nursery stories. This planet is just a stepping stone on a very long journey, and most memories have been erased in order to confine us to this planet until we are ready to join others. The spirits are eternal and actually have all the time in the world for humanity to grow up and become a family again, for once we were. If your card falls in the circle for career and finances, it indicates that while the mundane reality is important in order to eat, have shelter, and clothing, there is as well the need to balance life out so that there is time to celebrate the spirit within and to evolve into greater understanding of the journey we are all on and the purpose of a physical reality. No matter what your life focus is, there is always a need for the expansion of the creative energies that are within, for that is what fuels you on your pathway. There is a need to feel productive and joyful within your life. Seeking understanding of the talents and gifts that you brought into this lifetime will enable you to become more abundant on many different levels. As time flows by, there are going to be several different directions that will call to you. Don't feel pressured to pick, for in time you will have the opportunity to experience more than you might imagine. Finding the opportunity to expand on some of your talents will be very exciting, and you will have a chance to step into the spotlight of sorts several times. You will find that the spotlight is not all it's cracked up to be, but it does give you the chance to share some of your philosophies that have been fermenting within you. Once brought into the present, they take on a life of their own, and you discover that you have touched great numbers with your thoughts. And as they grow and spread, the wisdom they hold will resonate and indeed influence many. If your card falls into the circle for the mind, trying to understand the process of the spiritual elements and wisdoms that are flowing into reality at this time is a job in itself. Many will choose to ignore those elements and just focus on the physical reality and the need to survive, and that is what is most important to them at this time. However, everyone will have the option to make the time to address these issues, and for those, the education they get will be incredible. For the wisdoms gathered in the downloads that have been flooding the reality since 2019 have been opening the doors to information that has been stored away and put aside for decades, and now it begins to make its way into the light and change the focus of a great many. The vision of many is clearing, and there is new understanding of events that have been occurring around the globe. Many are finding that the truth in many cases was only half-truths, and the actual material was not what they had been led to believe. The mind tries to absorb answers to old questions and finds that with new awareness the answers are not what they seem. It's almost as if the mind has been asleep for decades, and now that it is fully aware and functional, much has been slipped by while it was slumbering, not paying attention to the politics and actions enacted in their name. There will be a demand for justice, and many will not be able to find where she is hiding. Wisdom on all levels will be the focus for humanity for the next decade or so. There's going to be shifts and changes into new orders to attempt to correct what has been done while we were not paying attention. The phrase, "If you slumber, they will plunder," rings quite clearly for a time until order is restored and everyone is paying attention. Universal wisdom will be called upon many times as society strives to get better control over their future and the intellect dusts itself off and begins to create systems that apply to everyone, with no exceptions, and ultimately justice will come out of hiding. If your card falls in the circle for love, it reminds us that universal love is totally unconditional and applies to everyone. We all have love within us and share it as best we can. To expect love and wisdom to go hand in hand is a bit extreme. There's no explanation for the love that individuals feel for one another. You just can't intellectualize an emotion, and if you can, then you should write that book. The first blast of passion and the chemical attraction is hard to describe or ignore. Many misinterpret passion as love, and that is really a mistake. Passion fades and the chemical attraction also along with it. Love is an energy that grows and blooms over time. It is a gentle, flowing energy that carries with it compassion and caring. Love is many things, including passion and also commitment, sharing, affection, tenderness, and communication. There are many who try to define who should be with who and try to intellectualize attraction, but it just doesn't work. Individuals are drawn together by love and attraction. Love grows and expands. Why people are drawn together is one of the great mysteries that Spirit hasn't shared yet. I can tell you that wisdom from out of time may well have something to do with the attraction. It sure isn't logical or reasonable, but when it works, it is truly amazing. It is apparent that those relationships that work best are those in which both parties are complete within themselves, and so have a whole person to share with another. Also, communication is a large part of a successful partnership, and a good sense of humor is crucial for most. This is one area where universal wisdom takes a back seat to the emotions and just holds on for dear life. If your card falls in the circle for spirit, it reminds us that the spirit within has full access to universal wisdom and the connection to cosmic consciousness. It can and does merge with these energies often when the body is at rest. While this is an all-knowing element, that doesn't mean it shares everything with the consciousness, for it is important to experience the physical reality in its totality in order to grow and evolve into its fullest potential. The spirit within often travels through time and space when the body slumbers, and often journeys great distances through the cosmos. Universal wisdom is within and is shared with you when it is appropriate for the development of the physical consciousness. To be all-knowing in the physical would defeat the purpose of the experience. While the philosophy of universal wisdom is ever a part of the spirit within, the experience of universal wisdom at play within a physical reality is new to spirit, and as it travels lifetime to lifetime, it gathers layer upon layer of greater insights into how that wisdom is applied and enforced in a physical reality. Just as there is a great difference between knowledge and wisdom, so too a difference between the theory and the physical experience flow through here. Subtleties are at play here, as in all delicate areas of spiritual awareness. This becomes a fine-tuning process so that at some point in time, the physical and the spiritual are in full complement to one another, and so is the purpose to evolution on the earth plane for at least this lifetime.